NFL free agency is right around the corner for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So today I'm breaking down the top 2025 NFL free agents at all of the positions of need that the Steelers are going to have to address at some point during this offseason. Before we get into the content today and we break down the top free agent targets the Steelers can consider, get us started down there in the comment section by naming a free agent that you want the Pittsburgh Steelers to sign this year. Is it T. Higgins? Is it, Carlton Davis III? Is it Mike Hilton? Let me know down there in the comment section, what free agent do you want the Steelers to go get? So here are the team needs that we're going to talk about today. Now, obviously, the Steelers have other needs, rotational needs that they will need to address. I think they need to get a little bit of help on the O-line, a little bit of help rotationally at inside linebacker. Another safety would be nice, but these are the five main ones that you need day one starters on heading into free agency and the draft. So we'll start with the quarterback position here. And what we've heard is that Art Rooney, the Steelers owner, and the people inside the building would like to bring back either Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. All right, it's probably not an and situation. All right, if you're hoping Russ and Fields are back next year, it's probably not going to happen. So the most likely scenario is that they pick between Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, and then whoever they pick is going to be the starting quarterback for this team next year. But there are other options out there. Sam Darnold has been using the Cognilyze VR technology at the Minnesota Vikings this past year. If the Steelers get him, I would guess that he would demand that his next team invests in that technology. So that would be beneficial for the Steelers if they got Sam Darnold. Derek Carr, the benefit of him is that he's actually pretty decent inside of an offense similar to Arthur Smith. Had a really good start to last season in New Orleans when he had all of his offensive linemen and his receivers healthy. Plus, he could bring Devontae Adams in to be this team's number one receiver. And then Aaron Rodgers, I honestly don't love that idea, guys. You could probably bring in Devontae if you have Rodgers, but it definitely sounds like it's either going to be Russell Wilson or Justin Fields as the starting quarterback of the black and gold in 2025. And, I'm honestly okay with that. And I could see the argument for both, all right? I can see why some people would want Russ because he's got the experience, because he's more accurate, because he's a better downfield passer, all these different things. He's better on his first read, all these different things. I can see why people would want Russ, but I can also see why people would want Fields because he's younger, he's got the higher upside, he's not going to be as expensive, all these different things. I think there's an argument to be made to go with either quarterback. And in the end, guys, I am behind whoever this team goes with. If they go with Russell Wilson, I'm going to support this team with Russell Wilson as this team's starting quarterback, all right? And by the way, I still think this team can have success with Russ at quarterback if they can fix the O-line in the run game and get him at least one more weapon. But I'm also going to get behind Justin Fields if that's who they go with. I'm hoping that they support him with VR technology so he can continue to develop his mental processing. And I hope that they can also get him a run game because I think that no matter what and no matter which quarterback they choose, a run game will be essential for the Steelers to have success in 2025. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments section. What's the percent chance that an outside quarterback, not Justin Fields and not Russell Wilson, is brought in to be this team's starting quarterback in 2025? Put it on a scale of 0 to 100 for me down there in the comment section. Right now, I don't think it's likely, guys. I'll probably put it at around a 15% chance an outside quarterback is brought in to start week one. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time. But let me know your answer to today's pinned question. So now let's move on to the running backs here because this is a position that we talked about here. If it doesn't really matter who the quarterback is and really what's important is the run game, the number one running back position is the most important spot to fill for the Steelers this offseason. Period. All right? Like they need their Saquon Barkley. They need their Derrick Henry. They need the guy that can be that dynamic talent that takes this team from a bottom 10 run offense, arguably bottom 5 run offense, to a top 5 running offense because that's the only way I can see this team honestly competing for a Super Bowl. But I don't love this class of free agents, right? It's not like last year where you had Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, and Derrick Henry all hit the market at the same time. This year, I think that the most likely candidates, Nick Chubb, we know Mike Tomlin has a lot of respect for Nick Chubb, but his production went down significantly. I'm not necessarily interested in him. J.K. Dobbins, he's good when he's on the field, but he's always injured. Aaron Jones is not really the type of running back that I think the Steelers are interested in. He's more of a receiving running back. I'm not sure if he's a true dynamic number one. And then Rico Dowdle and Najee Harris are just meh. Like, they're mid, right? I just don't think that those guys are the dynamic playmakers that the Steelers need to make this a top 5 rushing attack in 2025. And I think that the plan needs to be for the Steelers to take a running back early, whether that's in round 1 with Ashton Janty, if they can somehow find a way to get him, or if it means getting a really good running back on day 2. There's a bunch of great running backs that are going to be drafted on day 2 this year. So I honestly think right now the most likely scenario is the Steelers take a running back in round 2 of the NFL draft to be their future number 1 guy alongside Jaylen Warren in the backfield. So coming up here, we got more Steelers free agency targets to cover with you guys. We got wide receivers, we got cornerbacks, and we still got nose tackles to talk about here on the show. So before we get into those positions, let's have a word from our sponsor today at Game Time, which is the best place for you to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. And guys, you guys know about Game Time Picks. If you've been watching the show for a while, Game Time Picks is awesome because it helps you get tickets to live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. All you have to do is select the Game Time Picks button at the top of the screen when you click into an event you want to go see, and Game Time is automatically going to do the research for you to find the best tickets at the best prices so that you and your family can get the best deals on any ticket you get to any live event. And it saves you a bunch of time and money because you're getting the best possible deals, but you don't have to do the hours of research to find them. What I love about using the Game Time app is you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event. You guys also get all-in pricing on the app, so you don't get slapped with the crazy fee at checkout. The number you see on screen is the number you pay. Also, the flash deals are applicable as well, so you can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to game time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. It's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. So wide receiver is a position that the Steelers need to add at least one piece to that room this offseason. If they trade George Pickens, which seems more and more likely by the day at this point, quite frankly, you might need to go get 2 of them, either in free agency or in the draft this offseason. So the guys that are at the top of the list in terms of the guys that could potentially be number 1 receivers for an NFL team still, T. Higgins is going to be the super expensive option. Devontae Adams, it sounds like he's going to get released by the New York Jets. He might be more of a mid-priced option as somebody that's getting a little bit older. Chris Godwin's coming off a big injury, but he had a phenomenal season, can play both outside and in. Stephon Diggs also coming off an injury and is getting older. Then DeAndre Hopkins, pretty decent season in Kansas City, but he's certainly not what he once was. And, probably the best name on this list, T. Higgins, he's also going to be the most expensive by far. There's going to be a lot of teams, LA, New England, others that are going to want to bring in T. Higgins, and they're going to be willing to give him probably upwards of $30 million to do so. A lot of the people surrounding the Patriots organization are saying that team is willing to pay him over $32 million per season. So if the Steelers want him, they're going to have to pony up the cash, and they're going to have to spend almost 40% of their budget for the offseason this year in terms of cap resources on one player. All right, so that's going to be an extremely, extremely expensive player if you want T. Higgins. You're not going to be able to do as much at other positions if you get Higgins, but man, he is a goon, as Mike Tomlin likes to say, and he could be huge for this Steelers offense. So let me know down there in the comments section, is T. Higgins worth it? Would you pay him $30+ million per season? Give me a yes or a no down there in the comments section. So now on to the cornerbacks here, and I don't think Dante Jackson is a good enough cover corner to play on the other side of Joey Porter Jr. moving forward. I think the Steelers need to upgrade at this particular position, and honestly, I think that they should also get a slot corner to replace Cam Sutton, and I think to play in front of Beanie Bishop Jr. Beanie's just too small, in my opinion, to be a reliable slot corner in this league. Then you get to the top 10 list here. DJ Reed would be phenomenal. I really like Carlton Davis's fit with this team as well. Byron Murphy Jr., really good in man coverage. Mike Hilton is somebody that used to play in this defense in the slot, has done a really good job there. And then honestly, I'd be happy and I'd be okay with anybody on this list, right? I think anybody on this list would be a good number 2 corner on the other side of Joey Porter Jr. and help out the Steelers defense get better in 2025. And the thing that I would really love to do is bring back Mike Hilton. I mean, he was a blitzing extraordinaire in the slot when he was here in Pittsburgh, and he is still, in my opinion, the best blitzing slot corner in all of football. It's one of the only things that was good about the Cincinnati defense the last couple of years is that he was still good at attacking pass rushers. And I think the Steelers, when they had him, as kind of like a pseudo third edge rusher to confuse other quarterbacks and, really account for him, I think that made this defense even better. And I think that bringing in Mike Hilton for the projected contract range that Pro Football Focus has at him right now at 3 years, $11 million per season is more than worth it to take this Steelers defense in the slot to a whole nother level. So finally here, let's talk some nose tackles. This is our final position group of the day that we'll be talking about. And you guys know I want to move Keanu Benton, who has been this team's nose tackle, to 5 technique because he can penetrate a little bit more. He can get in the backfield a bit more, and he doesn't have to take on as many double teams, and he doesn't have to take on as much of a run-stuffing role at just over 300 pounds. I think he'd be a lot better at the 5 technique where Larry Ogunjobi currently plays, and if the Steelers can get a big body run stuffer in the middle, I think that'd be greatly beneficial for this team. So here are the best nose tackles available, in my opinion, in free agency this year. B.J. Hill coming over from Cincinnati. D.J. Jones is a really good run stuffer from coming over from Denver. Poona Ford is somebody that I'm a big fan of here. And come on, man, one of the best names in football too. And then Linval Joseph, honestly, I wouldn't be a big fan of Linval. He's really old at this point. And to trust him as a full-time starter in the nose, I just don't want to do that if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers. But even if they get one of these guys in free agency, guys, I do think that they're going to go and get a defensive tackle of some sort in the draft. All right, now maybe their plan is just to keep Keanu Benton at nose tackle and they want a lighter 5 technique to come in and play that position. That's certainly possible. There's lots of really good 5 technique type of players, 3-4 defensive ends in this year's draft class. But personally, there's also some really good nose tackles as well that I would consider because I think Keanu Benton can be a game-changing presence if he's allowed to be more of a disruptive player in the Steelers scheme. So that'll be it for today's show, guys. Really do appreciate your support and making it to the end of today's show. And if you're one of those real ones that's still watching this show at the end, make sure you let me know down there in the comments section so we can take count of all the real ones that made it to the end of the show. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already because we got more extensive Steelers coverage coming your way all throughout the offseason. So until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers.